Hello, hello, hello. Hey guys, welcome to today's stream. Just going to go over what we found out last night and start fleshing out what we're going to see tonight. All right. Anyone out there who wants to see what we're looking at tonight? Hey, H-Bomb, how are you, mate? Welcome. How you going, man? If you hear my baby monitor just going off, just ignore it, guys. Mike might pick it up from time to time. Let me turn the volume down on it a little bit. Pies to pick up a smoky if they raided. Players all are gone. Who are we thinking for? Do you know what I think is going to happen straight off the bat with tonight? So I've got last night's draft populated here. I've got the current system and the remaining points we've got left. Thread gold to North. I think I don't know if you guys just saw, but Todd Goldstein just retired, like within the last hour, within the last 20 odd minutes or so. So I think it's going to be Emmett. Thread gold would be a good shout, but I've got a feeling they've told him that they're going to go with Emmett, and rather than him go through another, preseason, I think it's going to be Emmett, as he's the highest rated ruck prospect coming through. First three picks are going to be talls tonight. Milkshakes. All right, well, let's see how that plays out. So I think it'll be Ison as well. I'd be very surprised if Ison and Tyler Williams get through these first three picks, because basically North Doggies will be giving Carlton a free hit with Ison. So they're going to want him to burn that 28 and then pick up the next best available pick with pick 38. They're not just going to give him, best player in the open pool and then Ison with 38. So that's how it would work. So, Ison and Williams will get bid on, I reckon, in the first two picks for sure. And if North or the Doggies don't bid on Tyler Williams, I'd expect Carlton to do so, especially as a payback for Harry Dean getting bid on very early. So that's how I expect it to play out. But we can play it out for you, mate, if you want. Who was it? H-Bomb. We can play out Thread Gold. And then maybe an Ison bid. Carlton have to match it with pick 28. So that's that free hit that I was talking about. That's gone. Doggies are up. Hey, Ado, how are you, mate? Welcome. How'd you enjoy the draft last night? Doggies. Who would the Doggies go? Doggies would maybe look at Emmett as well. We've still got a few good players out in the open pool. Jevon Filippo, Hibbins Hargrave, Ollie Greaves. I'd like to see Eagles trade up for Ollie Greaves, because I don't think it's going to cost too much to jump up to 26 or 27. It's going to be a bit of a... Because ideally you'd think Ollie Greaves will be... you're a Bombers fan, man. You guys crushed it. I think Essendon were the clear winners of round one, in my opinion. Farrow, Sharp, and who was the other one? Sullivan Roby, yeah, of course. You guys had a great night. Tyler Williams, since Bulldogs were linked to Lindsay. Yeah, probably another payback. Yep. Hey, Angus, how are you, mate? Welcome. If you guys could like the stream and all that, that'd be great. But yeah, let's play it out. So we're looking at Ison going there, and then probably, you reckon the Doggies will bid on Tyler Williams because they wanted Lindsay? They could do that. Where is Williams? I've got him up the top somewhere. There he is. He's first on the list. So that pushes West Coast pick. Instead of having, where were they? They were about pick 30. They've now moved back behind Melbourne, Richmond, Collingwood, and Geelong. I would expect that to be how it plays out. I'll be stoked if it doesn't, but I don't. I think realistically, I think that bid for Williams is coming very, very early. Who would the doggies go? Ideally, a defender, you'd think. Threadgold just went, the best defender. Not too many other defenders in this pool. Avery Thomas, maybe. Dogs take a tall. Lewis Emmett. Okay, let's do that. I think Emmett will go to North because of Goldstein just retiring a minute ago. I think he's been told something behind the scenes. Hey, we're going to take this ruck. You're probably going to be, fourth in line now. Oh, he's not at the Dogs. Rose, what am I talking about? He's at Essendon, isn't he? I always think of him as a Roos player. My bad. Ignore me. Talking nonsense. Thoughts on Bombers getting sharp? Yeah, I was gutted. I was hoping the Eagles would trade up for him. Devastating, but good for Bombers. I think he's going to be a very handy player for you guys. Where's Emmett? I'll find him for you. Unless I've taken him already with someone. There he is. Doggies get Emmett. Yeah, I was just thinking that, Angus. I'm like, what? I am talking utter nonsense. Yeah. But it felt like a really weird time to do it between nights 1 and 2 of the draft. Yeah, Crows wanted him. Don't know why the Eagles didn't. I'm hoping we make a play for Ollie Greaves, but I know we're the third pick tonight, but I think we're still going to have to trade up to make it happen, just to leapfrog that Tyler Williams bid. Mind you, in saying that, we've only got another 4 picks to get through before Greaves falls to us. If this plays out how we're thinking Ison gets bid on. We're thinking Tyler Williams gets bid on early. Melbourne take Higgins, Hargrave, or Ludovic. Yeah, that could be the case. Case of that happening. Where is he? So we go Higgins, Hargrave for Melbourne. Who would Richmond take? I'm just looking through these. Philippo's been linked to Richmond, linked to Geelong, St Kilda, and Richmond. Saints might trade up, try to get him paired up with his brother. Who else would Richmond look at? Richmond's taking Philippo? Yeah, I think so. I think that makes sense for him. It's a good hand for him, really. Kick it. I don't know who's been talking to kick it. Have I even got him in my thing? There he is. Linked to Freo and Richmond. Okay, so he's also been talking to Richmond as well. It's what I've done here. I've populated with who Cal's told us who they've been speaking to and who they've got interest in. Mortar Wombat, how are you, mate? Nice name as well, by the way. Let's go kick it. Philippo falls even further and gives Saints another chance to move up. Collingwood, who are we thinking for Collingwood? So we got kick it to the Tigers. Philippo's still on the board. Heatherton, I think pretty sure Cal linked him to Hawthorn. Pies take Greaves, Onley, or Wright. Pies can't take Greaves because that's where he's going to the Eagles. Nah, we can do that. Onley, a couple of votes for Onley. Ado Beto saying Onley. Let's do it. There you go, linked to Brizzy, Collingwood, so they must have spoken to him or at least shown some interest in him. Yep. Who's Geelong taken? Philippo, probably. Greaves, Philippo's linked to him. Greaves is linked to him. Geelong linked to Greaves. Cats will take Greaves or Philippo. Rodriguez. I'm thinking Philippo, and then the Eagles get Greaves. That's what we want. That's the or Holmes. That's a good shout. Yep, Ado. Holmes. This is Geelong's last pick that they're going to be taking. So maybe Holmes. Pair him up with Max. Maxi Holmes. I think Philippo makes sense for him. And then Eagles hit it out of the park with Greaves. Too lovely. And who is Sydney going for? Jesse Mellor. I don't think I've got him in my pool. No, I don't. Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do. So you're thinking Mellor to Pies later on. They're about 3 picks away. Who are we thinking for Sydney? Sydney have taken so far. They didn't have enough points for. It's probably going to be that King, isn't it? Because they wanted to save points and not go into deficit for Carmichael. I think it'll definitely be King as well. So they've got points, enough points. Had a bid come in for King in those first. How many picks have we taken so far for round 2? 26. So we've taken 8 players already. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's King. There he is. Have they got? They've got a few academy players. So Chamberlain's the other one. Swans or Pies are into Thomas. Have I got a Thomas in here? Oh, I know why that's not populating. Those two are ticked. Avery Thomas. Linked to Sydney. Okay, let's go Avery Thomas, and then they can still match a King bid later if they need. That makes sense. Who are the Bombers taking? Linked to Adelaide, linked to Brisbane Port, linked to Doggies, linked to Collingwood. Haven't seen Essendon yet. Here you go. El Achka, he's their academy player. Dons take Heatherton. Yeah, I'm thinking one of those top, just best player available kind of situations. St Kilda, Richmond, yeah. Krasnodamskis, developing ruck. They just lost Draper. Linked to Richmond, Sydney, GWS. Linked to Geelong, Brizzy Hawks, Melbourne. Yeah, so Essendon, this is their last pick, I'm pretty sure. Oh, no, they've got another one. Okay. Let's go Heatherton. Best available, key forward, pair him up with Caddy. And then Collingwood are on the clock. Maybe Kraz, yeah. Well, Essendon have got one more pick. They're not going to get Krasnodamskis at 78. That'll come into about pick 56, 55. And then who are we thinking for Collingwood's next pick? They've just taken Riley Onley. Thomas, didn't you say milkshakes? I think she said Thomas somewhere. Pies are also linked to Jesse Mellor. I saw a Thomas. Where was that? Because we didn't take him, did we? Or did we? Avery Thomas, that was what you're talking about. Okay, so you're talking about Mellor, Jesse Mellor. I can't spell. There we go. There you go. Has he moved into the top 40 picks? I haven't heard much about him, to be honest with you. Avery Thomas, yeah, Sydney got him in this mock. Who else would the Pies look at? McCarthy, will they just take McCarthy here? Save some. They don't really need to burn picks anymore. Bid on King. King's gone, isn't he? Oh, King, that's actually not a bad play. Sydney, yeah, Sydney will have enough. There he is, Max King. So they give up 440. Oh, okay. So what we've done here, we've fallen into that third bound of compo as well because we're in the third round now, third round of picks. So they just got to give up their next best pick. Match bid. So if Collingwood is still going to pick 3, Collingwood could bid on a ton of academy players and just try and bring their back end picks up. So Darcy, it doesn't really work with Darcy because their first pick's 65, which is in front of all these ones anyway. But if they wanted to, that's an option they could do. Where's Wally? If the Eagles wanted to match him, all that kind of stuff. I'm thinking maybe a Bob. Who's Collingwood's ruck? You got what's his name? He just signed on last year. Not Darcy. Anyway, they've lost Mason Cox. Maybe he could be a developing ruck behind that. He's from WA. Can't remember his name anyway. Maybe Krasnodemskis to Collingwood, and then Carlton. They got Ison at pick 27. They'll just take the best available here. This is to fill out their last of their draft hand. I don't know who they've been linked to. Don't know who you guys got any news on that, on who Carlton might be linked to. Let's have a look. Cameron, that's it. Cameron Darcy. The word Darcy jumped in my head, and it always goes to Sam Darcy. Darcy Cameron. That's what I was thinking. Ignore that, Odd Marshall. Who are we thinking for Carlton? I'm not sure. Anyone got any intel, inside words or anything? Maybe Bob, best available. Pies pick maybe Tobin Murray, Tyron Armu, and Hugo Mukunda. I think you've only got 2 picks left. Yeah, you have. Yeah. I'm going to go Bob with this. Or maybe a Cody Curtin. I think he's still on the board to try and help replace what's his name? Curnow. Tyler Byrne to the Blues. All right, let's do it. Mukunda or Curtin? We'll go Mukunda. I've got 2 votes for Mukunda. All right, he's going to the Blues. And then Freo. I think this is their last pick. Yeah, Freo's last pick. We're going to start looking at some passes soon. Who are we thinking? They don't even get the chance to bid on Tyler Williams. He's already gone. They picked up Swade at the first. Bearmonger is going Taylor Byrne. Let's do that one. There's no links to Freo yet. I'm just going to go through the little list here. Or do we just go Taylor Byrne? Anyone else got any recommendations? Kai Fincher. I think Fincher's a Saints player, eh? Oh, that's probably why you're doing it. Problem with this one is I have misbadged Kai Fincher in my little thing, I think. It's one player, it's a bit... Yeah, I've got him for Geelong. I wish I didn't do that. I've got to fix that. But he's going to go to Saints. I think that's a good pick. Kobe Evans, Rabies. I don't think he's even in this. Oh, he is. There you go. West Coast can match him. I don't think West Coast would bother with him. I think they would rather Banfield. They've already got their full limit on players expected. Taylor Byrne to Carlton. Okay, sorry. Let's go back. There you go. St Kilda into Sean McManus's kid. Are they? I don't think I've even got him in here either. I think he's one of the ones that didn't make the... Yeah, he hasn't got a card yet. Yeah, Sean McManus. He's on the radio every other morning on Nova over here in Perth. I used to play with his brother Ben. He used to play on my team. Yeah, I know the McManuses. Yeah. So who did we go before? I'm sorry, I'm just getting a little lost. Tyler Burnder, Mukunda. We'll go Mukunda to Freo, and Fincher to Saints. Brizzy's got some academy players that they want to look at. If you guys could just like the stream as well, push it up the little list, that would be awesome. What was I doing? Brizzy's academy. I think they had a preference. I'll see. Yeah, Ty and Prindable. They're thinking Rory Wright and Puka for Lions. I was thinking Ty and Prindable, this is their next best academy player. He was the one that they wanted to start storing points for at the back end. In this instance, he's actually fallen into the third round, so they don't need to. All right, we'll go yours one, mate. Sorry, we'll go. Hey, Shannon, how are you, mate? Rory Wright and Puka. Okay, let's go Rory Wright. Rory Wright's gone to Brizzy. And they got back-to-back. So this is the compo pick for Annabelle that they overpaid with. I think they're going to go Prindable. I think he's going to find his way to Brizzy. And they might take that academy ruck last. Doggies. I mean, North, sorry. So I'm thinking a bit around Will Darcy will be coming soon. Zach McCarthy as well. Maybe make Collingwood pay up. I think that's probably a play there. Let's do that. North, go for Collingwood's player in McCarthy. Collingwood match. You can already see Carlton have passed. So we're moving up the passes are going to start coming in. You have one pick left. We can undo it. We can auto play it. Let me bring it back. Carlton, I've got to add a pick for you then over here. There you go. Who are you thinking? Super Blue Iris? Who are we thinking, mate? Ludovic. Yeah, Ludovic. Has Ludovic gone? I can't remember. No, he's still available. I think Leray is as well. Ludovic for North. Okay, we can wait one pick. Who was Blue Iris? Oh, Puka. Okay, I'm with him. There we go. Puka. Oh, what happened there? Okay, Puka. And then North are up now. And we're going Ludovic. Let's do that. And now the Crows are on the clock. They have taken Mitch Marsh, and that's it. Who are we thinking for the Crows? Best South Australian prospect left is Odchon Benia, Matt Leray, Noah Roberts-Thompson, Archie Edwards, Cody Gallagher, Ethan Yates, Bob. Someone will take. I think Bob's fallen way too far at 46. It's an absolute steal. Ethan Yates or Sam Ainsworth. Yeah, absolutely. It's still pretty deep. It's not that bad. Everyone's just comparing it to last year. It might even be better than last year. You don't know until 10 years down the line. It's all perception. Let's go Bob then, I guess. And then Collingwood's got one more pick. We didn't bid on McCarthy yet. I think we backtracked that, didn't we? He's still available. Or did we? I thought we did. No, I backtracked it too far. Luray to Collingwood. Can do that. Did you see Jared Wheatley's opinion of the draft in Gold Coast? Yeah, he was silking about that. He was. I see his point, but it's. He was basically saying he hates it how a top 4 team ended up with picks. 2, 5, and four picks inside the top 20, effectively. Which I can understand that point of view, but they've also he left out the part where they've traded away all of next year's hand. So. I think if another team wanted to take 4 picks in the top 20, they would have to trade away all of next year's hand as well. So it kind of levels out a bit more in that regard. Amu or Hugo to the Pies here. We've gone Matt Luray. Sam Allen to the Gold Coast. Have Gold Coast got any more academy players left? I think they got one. No, they don't. Okay. Hugo to Gold Coast. There he is. And who would Gold Coast go here? I reckon a bid for Darcy comes in around here. Let's go a bid for Darcy. So they've got the Darcy boys. Yeah, if you belly on, I'll show you, mate. Gold Coast. That's what they're rolling into next year with. Is pick 2 and pick 4. So pick 2, assuming that they're going to be a top 4 side, is looking like pick 32, and round 4 would be add another 36 picks. What's that? 68. So 34 and 68. So they've got nothing for next year. In saying that they don't need it, it kind of works with their list build. They've got a whole bunch of young stars. They've got Leo Lombard, can't get a gig. They've got Jed Walter, can't get a gig. A lot of these guys are going to start looking for opportunities throughout the rest of the league soon enough. So bringing in young kids next year, it's probably not going to be much of a priority for them. These guys were all like, top 10, top 15 talents as well for those draft classes. Coulson to the Gold Coast. We can do that. I think that's a Sydney player, isn't he? Gold Coast, that's it. There he is. Then we had a ton of passes. Collingwood are next on the list. If Suns didn't have academy, Patterson would be playing NRL for the Broncos. They were after him 2 years ago, but chose AFL academy. Yeah, Jake Rogers, Will Graham, exactly. These guys just can't get a look in. And there'd be plenty of other teams that would be willing to give him a shot, I think. So draft picks for next year is not really going to be... They're going to have a list squeeze going on this year anyway. And they've just brought in Petrarca, so that's one less midfield spot. Who are we thinking for Collingwood's last pick? Who did they end up in this draft? They ended up with Onley, Krasnodemskis, and Luray so far. Where's our resident Maggie's fan? Milkshakes. Who are we thinking for Collingwood's 4th pick? If you guys can like the stream as well, that would be appreciated. Bump that up that list. Let some other people find out about it. My Smokey. Who is your Smokey again? I've already forgotten. I've got to clear those filters, getting random names. Oh, McCarthy. You guys haven't got McCarthy yet, and this is your last pick. We've got to take McCarthy, don't we? Yeah. Yeah. So that makes sense. McCarthy is probably their best prospect, and he probably would have gone a lot earlier than 57. I think we already gone Armu. Yeah, we did. Maybe I picked him up for someone else. Yeah, I'm sure I pressed it somewhere. There you go. He went to Gold Coast. Maybe I misunderstood. You were probably talking about Collingwood, but you mentioned Matt Leray earlier. Hawthorn. Who are Hawthorn taking? So we've got Rodriguez. Maybe Rodriguez is a shout, or Sam Swadling. Jack Dalton. Linked to Essendon. Linked to Richmond, Sydney. Linked to Sydney. Sam Swadling's been linked to Hawthorn. Another good WA prospect. Cody Curtin. I thought we took Cody Curtin. I'm just wondering if I got two players with the same. No, Cody Curtin's still available. Sam Allen's still there. Yep. FB19, you're a Hawks man. Sam Allen. He'd be around here somewhere. There he is. All right, he's going to Hawks. And we got Sydney on the clock. Who are we thinking for Sydney's last pick? Condigianis linked to Sydney. Roberts Thompson, that's obviously his brother. Who else for Sydney? Swadling's also linked to Sydney. Carlton will pass with pick 44. Who did we take with pick 44? Puka for Carlton. Fred to the Swans. We can take Fred. Freddie Rodriguez. Where is he going? There he is, up the top. And then the Crows pass. We got how many picks left? We got 1, 2, 3, 4 players left. Everyone else is going undrafted. Who are the 4 most likely to get taken? Probably Dalton would be one of them, you'd think. There he is there. Condigianis has got a bit of interest. Swadling's got a bit of interest. Banfield. Eagles would need to give up pick 69 if one of them came, but it looks like he's going to make it to the rookie list. I'm going to go Saints are going to take Tom Burton. Okay, I'm happy with that. I'm hoping I've got a card for him. I haven't seen his name yet. There he is. Tom Burton. We'll go Melbourne. Who would Melbourne take? Hunter Holmes. We've got a lot of passes. Then we've got Essendon's last pick. Lions still have a pick. Lions have taken all their players. Lions have ended up with... They've already passed a few. They've ended up with their 3 players. They didn't lose too many players this off-season, like Archie, Starcevic, that's about it, but they've brought in Oscar Allen, Draper, Annabelle. Who are we thinking for... Sorry, let me get down to the bottom again. Essendon's last pick. Dalton, maybe? Be a handy pickup. Just keep further improving that midfield. That'd be an epic draft for Essendon. We'll go Dalton. I think that's a big win for them. And then the Giants are going to finish off the draft with... We're taking 4 and delisted 7 players. How many did I think you're talking about Brizzy. Right. Okay, well, I can add someone. They're going to be picking after. Let's add someone for Brizzy. So they've got to pick again at pick 63. This is gonna glitch it out. I think we'll see. We'll go GWS are going to take Swaddling. Okay, and then we got the Brizzy pick. I think they're just going to look at their academy, Brizzy. Waller or Harrison Bridge. And gone. All right. So let me populate the second round for you and show you how this mock draft ended up for tonight's draft. So we finished off with Adam Swade yesterday. North were first on the clock. In this instance, they didn't trade for it, but we're thinking they're gonna. Someone will try and trade up for it at least. And we're thinking early picks on Ison and Williams. So West Coast and Carlton don't get a free hit. So Threadgold went first pick tonight, followed by 2 bids on Ison and Williams. I can't remember who the bidding team was, the Doggies. And then they took Louis Emmett. Hibbins Hargrave. Richmond went Leon Kickett. Actually, I'll probably show you better this way, won't it? That'd be even easier. So where are we? Leon Kickett, there he is there. Then Onley. Cats ended up with Jevon Filippo. Eagles nabbed Ollie Greaves. Sydney got Avery Thomas. Essendon took up Liam Hetherington. Cal's thinking Carlton and West Coast to trade them picks. Trade up or trade back? Trading back would probably make more sense because no matter which way you split it, you have to burn your most valuable pick. So you may as well make that valuable pick less valuable and get something for maybe next year or something like that. Essendon picked up Liam Heatherton. Collingwood bid on Max King and Sydney matched it. They ended up with Krasner Damskis. Where are we? Here. This one here. Taylor Byrne went to Carlton. Hugo Mukunda went to Freo. Kai Fincher. Rory Wright and Tyne Prindle to Brizzy. Trade down into the future. Yeah, I'd say so. I'd say they try and get us another second or something. Odshon Brenner, Leray, Amu, Darcy went about pick 49, Kirby Coulson. So no bid came in for Charlie Banfield either. And then Kobe Coulson, and then this is where all those passes start coming into play. Auto pass. Collingwood still got a pick. They ended up with their academy guy in McCarthy. Hawks took Allen. Sydney ended up with Fred Rodriguez. He was WA's best prospect for a while, for most of the year. Tom Burton, Hunter Holmes. And then again, a ton of passes. And then Dalton ended up at Essendon. More passes. Swaddling went, and Harrison Bridge. I think that was the end of it. That was the end of the draft. So everyone just passes the rest of their picks, and it's just let's load up again. Okay, so we'll go again. All right. So we got last night's draft played out. What other scenarios are we looking at tonight? Who's going to trade up for North? What would they trade? What are we thinking? Pop your thoughts in the chat, guys, and like the stream, like and subscribe, and I'll try and play it out for you. Who's North thinking? Key defender would be handy for North. Trade down or into the future, and he believes Greaves to Collingwood. So Collingwood, I don't think Greaves gets past West Coast if Collingwood want him. West Coast missed out on Sharp, but Greaves would be the next best thing. Who are we thinking for North? Trade the West Coast and Carlton picks. All right, who will trade up? So Carlton getting trade 28. They still need to match a bid, and they still need to match the bid in the top. They'll have enough. They'll have 444. They'll have enough as long as that bid comes in to 39. So who would trade up for pick 28 from Carlton? I think someone's going to trade up for North's pick first. Would be my money. I'm thinking even St Kilda trying to trade up for North to get Filippo. They're saying the Blues should trade back, and I think West Coast should trade back too. That's what I tried to explain at the start of this mock. I think it's very, very likely that a bid comes in for Ison and Tyler Williams, and then they just have to burn those 28, 29, whereas you may as well get more value than that. Brizzy trade up for a future second. Future second's going to be pick 36, and that's without any academy father-son nonsense. I don't think anyone's going to give it 26, 27. Need to be more. It'll need to be like a 42 and a future second. For North, would they do that? How many picks are North going to be taken? North are only taking 2 picks to go. But they did trade their second. They traded their second to Carlton, I think, for that pick 9 at the start of the draft. So that gives them a second rounder for next year. I guess that could be doable. What are we thinking? Shouty man, North hold there, I reckon, and take Threadgold. I think Threadgold too. I think he'd have to be the favourite. Key defender, 44 in a future second. I'm thinking the Threadgold. I think North would rather have Threadgold would be my prediction. So you're thinking second and 42 for 26. I don't know if North would do that. I don't think they would. It's 16 picks to fall back on for a pick 36. Bearmonger, Curtin or someone. Curtin's probably going to go to Collingwood, we think. North desperate for Threadgold, so don't see this happening. I think so too. I think Threadgold's a good get for North. Who'd they end up with that last... that Doveston, wasn't it? From memory? Yeah, it was Doveston. Yeah. Milkshakes. North are into Ludowick as well. Yeah, it's a pretty valuable pick. You'd want to be paying overs to get it. Who are we thinking for the doggies? Maybe this is where the bids come in. Obviously, actually, this is where, assuming that North just go Threadgold, this is where the Tyler Williams and Jack Ison bids would need to come in. Otherwise, Carlton and West Coast get a free shot at the open pool. They could just take whoever they think, say Ollie Greaves, and then get Tyler Williams with pick 34. Whereas you can flip it if you bid now. Great haul for us. You've got very lucky. How do I feel about the Eagles' performance last night? Oh, I'm still happy, but I'm just a bit... I wanted Sharp. But, you know, CDT could be anything. I could be eating my words in 6 years' time. Lindsay stoked with. I think we probably... Giving up a second rounder was a bit... probably a bit overs. You probably could have got it done for a third. But, yeah, they got their guy. So if that's what it takes to get your guy, so be it. Who are we thinking for the doggies? Emmett to the Dogs. All right, let's go to Emmett to the Dogs. I genuinely think these bids are coming in those first 2 picks, Ison and Williams. But we'll go Emmett. Carlton. Who are Carlton and West Coast trading then? Who can see some trades and where are they going? So pick 28. Who needs pick 28? Who's like picking way at the back? Probably St Kilda. St Kilda will have to wait a bit. Would you do 40 and 58? Does that even help Carlton? 58 doesn't do anything for Carlton. Maybe a third. 40 and a third for Carlton. For St Kilda, and they can trade up for Filippo. So what's that do? That effectively gives them more trading power for next year where they can match Cody Walker. They're already accumulating a ton of picks for that draft. Where are we? They've got 2 first rounders and North second rounder, so that should be start of the second. They've got no one in that little void between the second of North and their own fourth, so a third could do that, I reckon. Blues 44, 54 for future third or fourth. I don't think there's any purpose in trading Blues 44 because we want to get back from 28. That's the whole purpose of this exercise. Because we're expecting a bid on Jack Ison in the first. He's supposed to. He'd been mocked about pick 24 in Cal Twomey's mock draft. So it's the same deal where they didn't want to give up 9 and 11 for Harry Dean. They wanted to give, what they end up giving, like 20 and 23 or something. 20, 23 and 25. So you just don't want to be holding the bag when that bid comes if you've got more than you need. In this case, Carlton and West Coast are going to have more than they need. The other teams are going to see that and they're going to bid. I hope that makes sense. Blues trading 44 does absolutely nothing if that Ison bid still comes. Tigers boards on BF had melts over us picking Grill. I am happy with our night though. Yeah, I thought Roby was going to end up at Richmond. I thought it was like you could almost flip CDT and Roby, even Eagles possibly taking Roby. I don't mind this trade for St Kilda. Actually, why am I giving a future first of Sydney? That doesn't work. Yeah, so 40 and a third, so they move back 12 spots. Carlton will then have to give up pick 40 for whenever that bid comes. Pick 40 plus 84 points is 42, 312. Actually, that doesn't help Carlton at all. That kind of screws them. Let's play it out. How many points have they got left? Carlton have got... they've got 682 points even after that, and they've accumulated something for next year. So they've got the third rounder of Saints for next year. They've still got heaps of points to match Ison. Saints are on the clock, and they can get Filippo. Like that. And I think West Coast would want to trade back. Well, West Coast can take... This is what I was trying to say about these free hits. That West Coast, this is why I think Tyler Williams' bid is going to come out of North, Dogs, and whoever holds that third pick, Carlton, because West Coast can take Ollie Greaves now and then burn the Tyler Williams pick at pick 34 instead of burning it on pick 29. So that's how I expect the night to play out. Does that make sense? I'll reboot it. We'll load it up again. So we're back to where we are tonight. What other trades are we thinking for Carlton and West Coast, or anyone trading up for these first 2 picks? West Coast Collingwood trade. Let's have a look. So West Coast are trading back. Would you do 32? And Collingwood can't really give a future, can they? 32. 51's not going to get used. What would you do with West Coast Collingwood here? Josh? Second's going to be too much. Second's way too much. Unless you just do a straight 29 for a future second. potentially. Anyone there in the chat? Everyone's gone quiet. Am I still live? I'm thinking we'll run the draft. We'll go thread gold. Go on ice and bid. If they can't find trade partners. Future second only. Okay, there we go. Chat's back up. Load. So 29 for future second. Yeah, I think that makes sense. So Collingwood have moved up. Helps you recover the second you traded yesterday. So that means we need... Ideally, you'd want another pick before pick 34 because that pick 34 is still going to be Tyler Williams. Whereas, yeah, I guess you get a second rounder for next year. Yeah, that probably makes a bit of sense. And what were you thinking for the Carlton? How are Carlton going to trade back? I think St Kilda. That one worked, didn't it? Pick 28 for 40 and a third. Carlton still end up with enough points to match Ison, even if it comes at that North Melbourne pick at 26. Let's have a look. They just add more to their hand for next year. Even West Coast third, that would be a bit more enticing. Saints move up 12 spots. Blues move back 12 spots, but they've still got enough. Carlton lose. What is the point of that? Well, Carlton have got an eye towards next year, which is Cody Walker, who is looking at a top 5 spot. So it's just all about accumulating a bunch of points, or just a bunch of trade assets for next year. So assuming they have a pretty good year, there's round 1 and round 2 for Sydney. They might have to trade that up for let's say pick 1 or pick 2, and then they've still got a third rounder they can throw in as a set of steak knives just to get a trade across the line or something like that. But Carlton don't need pick 28 because it's going to be Ison anyway. It's going to be Ison if it's 28, 38, 35. So it's going to be the same player. So they may as well get something more in return. Where's the beer? It's only 2:30 at the moment. I might have a beer later on when I do. I'll do an additional stream in a minute, or 3:45 or something, just before the draft starts, and we'll go through it together again. I'm going to take a break and grab a beer then, I think. North should keep everyone honest and bid on Ison Williams. That's what I think. I think that's what's going to happen. So let's have a look now that those trades have gone through. They're going to go for Ison. As I said, they're bidding 38 and 40 instead of 29 and 38. They're bidding the picks at the back. They're still going to get a compo pick at around pick 53. And then Williams, same deal. West Coast burn 35 and 50. Oh, they haven't got enough in this instance. Okay, so that pick, what did I do? They haven't got enough. They go into a little bit of deficit. So they might do that trade after if Thread Gold goes at pick 26. But in that instance, trading away for the third. Hello. Okay, thank you. Yeah, they haven't got enough. So, interesting. What was that trade I just did? My memory is shit ass. West Coast traded with Collingwood, pick 41 for a future second. So they need the pick to come in after that. That's right. West Coast are going to go into deficit anyway for Williams. Assuming we get the wooden spoon, that won't matter. It's only 40 points in deficit. It won't even bump you back to pick 2. Yeah, so we need an additional 40 points. We're just going to go into deficit. And as I showed you guys at the top, the difference between pick 1 and pick 2 is 600 points. So falling 40 points into deficit is not going to make any difference whatsoever. They're just going to have 2,960 points. instead of 3,000, which is irrelevant. North will go for thread gold. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking those bids come straight off the bat and then thread gold. I agree with you there. Carlton are hoping for no bids and get Ludowick and then cop the bid for Ison. That's it, milkshakes. Yes, if you guys can just hit the likes, bump that thing up the what's it called? The YouTube algorithm. More people might stumble across it and get a nice little community going. That'd be good. Thanks, guys. And then I think we said Emmett for the doggies. And subscribe. That's it. That's it. I feel terrible like asking that and begging for it. Ugh. But I understand why people do it now that I've started this thing. Why would North Mel stuff up Carlton when they traded with trade so they could get Ison? Why would North stuff up? I think it's more you're doing the rest of the league a favour and it doesn't affect you at all. It's not really. I don't think they're playing, friends just because they made a trade with each other. They're still competing with each other at the end of the day. And Carlton and North are going to be around that same part of the ladder, you would think, as well, down the bottom. Yeah, true. North have a good relationship with Carlton as they just did trades. Yeah, it's a good point. I don't think clubs operate that way. I think once the trade's done, the trade's done. It's all business sort of thing. You might be right. I might be absolutely way off the mark. So here we go. In this instance, we're going St Kilda are going Filippo. Handshake deal for North not to bid. West Coast did for Annabelle. Maybe. Yeah, it's interesting. It was Richmond that bid on Annabelle, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. And you wouldn't say that the West Coast did Gold Coast a favour by not bidding on Patterson because they bid on both of the Murray and Adensol. Who would Collingwood go if they traded up for West Coast pick, if they went here, knowing that Threadgold, Louis Emmett and Jevon Filippo? Greaves to the Pies? That would make sense. He's not leaked there yet. Not according to Cal anyway. All right, we'll go Greaves. Damn it, I want him to Eagles. Hibbins Hargraves. So Josh is a Pies man as well. Anthony Beck, how are you, mate? Hope Melbourne pick up Leray or no Hibbins Hargrave or Onley. We had McVee go home to WA, so worried about taking Swadling. So you're thinking Leray or Noah Hibbins? Hibbins Hargrave's a good one. He was rated much higher all year round as well. Richmond. Who are we thinking for Richmond? I'm not sure who Richmond would take if this instance. This is pretty much this draft that we're playing out here is like the worst case scenario for West Coast already. We've gone into deficit to match Tyler Williams, and our next best pick is 72. I don't like it. Pick it for Richmond. No, kick it. I think you're talking about. I think you're talking about kick it. Not pick it. Kick it to pick it. There you go. Linked to Freo and Richmond, so he's linked there as well. So they've put some work into him. This will be their last pick as well, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Okay. Max King bid coming in. Yep, I can see that. From Collingwood. Sydney have got enough to match. They do so. Who are we thinking? Collingwood people, we got Josh and Milkshakes. Hibbins Hargraves went to Melbourne. Anthony was saying it was going to be Leray, Hibbins Hargrave, or Onley. I think they might be able to get another one on the way. When's their next big? 59. No, probably not. Too far away. Heatherton to Collingwood. So that's a good start for Collingwood. Greaves and Heatherton. Who would Geelong take? We're thinking Holmes, maybe? I think it's Geelong's last pick of the draft. It is too. I'm thinking maybe Holmes. Unless anyone's got any other better suggestions. Jesse Mellor. Is that for Geelong? Or are you talking about Collingwood's next one? Oh, you go. Link to Geelong. There you go. And he's from the Falcons. Bid on McCarthy, then Holmes. I think we've got a McCarthy bid coming up here. I think that's a bit more realistic. Collingwood have already ended up. This is going to be Collingwood's third player. Essendon forced Collingwood's hands. Who will Essendon go at this one here? 38. Avery Thomas, Ludowick, Rodriguez, Goy Jarth, Hamish Bird, Alachkar, Dalton. Trade Blues with West Coast instead of Saints. Trade Blues with West Coast instead of the Saints. So Blues just trade back one slot. Is that what you're saying? Essendon, I'm thinking maybe Mukunda or someone in the back half. Would you go a next gen academy pick? Rodriguez to the Bombers. Okay, we can do that. We can do that. There it goes. Oh, go, Josh. The second night of the draft is like Christmas for Pies fans because we never have any first round picks. Yeah. We've done well so far. You got McCarthy, Heatherton, and Greaves. This has been a terrible round for West Coast if it plays out like this. I don't like it. Evening, Mr. Skadish. How are you, mate? Welcome. Keep Farrell company. Milkshake, stop trading them out then. Freo, I think, who's the best WA prospect at this point? I don't think Freo really lean into the WA prospect as much. Cody Curtin, Sam Swadling, Charlie Banfield, McMullen, Toby Wan. This is their academy player, Toby Wan. I don't know why he doesn't have the badge next to him. I think that could be possibly who they're looking at. Unless you guys know of other links. Link to Essendon, link to Port and Richmond, St Kilda North. I haven't seen any Freo really linked to anyone. They're probably just going to take best available, you'd think. Maybe a Ludowick. Or Bob. Who are we thinking? And then Sydney, who's linked to Sydney? I think Cody Curtin was linked to Sydney. So was Collingwood. Curtin to bring Crows Curtin home. It's not a bad idea. We can do that. Although they've already got Tracy and they've got a miss, haven't they? In the forward line. I did read an article that maybe Swadling would be a better pick. I read that Collingwood were maybe looking at utilising Cody Curtin as a defender, even though he had played in the forward line. I think it was Cal Twomey's article, actually. Brizzy. Who are Brizzy looking at? They've got their academy still. They've got a few. Prindable's regarded as the highest ranked one. Isaac Wall is the ruckman that you were referring to. I don't know why it's compared him to Starcevic. I think he was just mentioned in the same article as the Starcevic article. Most clubs view him as a defender. Curtin, he's a big boy by the look of him. Who are we thinking for Brizzy? Bob's been linked to Brizzy. Maybe they just do that and they match their academy bids later. I think that makes more sense. We can do that. He's been talking to Brizzy and Port. Lions Academy players aren't rated top 50. Would be happy with Ison and Byrne, if possible, a future third. So, Carlton, you ended up with Ison, and I think you got a future third in that trade that we did, didn't you? Yeah, you got West Coast future third, so it's going to be a high future third. Who are we thinking for Brizzy? What are we at? We're at 3 o'clock. All right, I'm going to take a break. 10 to 3. I'm going to take a break, guys. I'm going to be popping back on just before the round 2 starts at about quarter to 4 here, Perth time, quarter to 7 your time. As always, if you can like, subscribe, help bump up the channel, that would be wicked. And I'll see you guys in about an hour's time. All right, take a break. We'll revisit it and see how it all plays out. See you soon. See ya. Bye. Like.